This conference will now be recorded.
Well, yesterday we're going through creating Docker images. So we've seen how to create the Docker images, that means using Docker files. Right. Now, let's take an example. Let's go with one more example. Let's create another Docker file. And so in this Docker file, so I will be installing some applications. Okay. So let's see how do we do that. Okay. So we will use different keywords in that image. We'll be using from, and then also we'll be using CMD. So these are the different keywords we'll be using to create the image. Okay. So I'm creating a Docker image first, and the Docker image is regarded. I want to have some applications installed. So what applications? We'll see. Okay. So before we do that, login Docker. Docker is that's our Docker instance. Into the instance. Answer is the background connections. Key. The key was in the other key, so yeah, was the key. So 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 there we have images. So I'm using this image. So we can create another image. So and in any path there is no path restriction. So I'm creating another image. But before I do that, I want to rename this Docker file to Docker file 4. Okay. So that I can create a new Docker file. So with via Docker file. That's our file name. It's a standard name. Create an image. So go with first. from, and I take a base image as an Ubuntu base image. And then, so let's go with run some images, run some commands on it. So what commands? I'm going with first. So app install. Okay. App install update, not an app install, just app update first. Okay. App update. That means bring our repository. Once repository is updated, and also I will be running a command call. So the next one is app install and then git. Okay. Or else you can also try this. Let's go with this. Okay. So instead of doing it, let's say run app install. Okay. Okay. So, but if you do this, and okay, let me first write my document, and also running an command. So CMD. So what is CMD is for? So the CMD stands for I want to run some commands. Okay. So at the time when I run my image, see the difference between run versus CMD. What's the difference? So run is going to install. Okay. So run is going to run the commands, whatever the commands you mentioned. Run is going to run these commands whenever you build an image. But CMD is going to run the commands when you run your image. When you run your image, that means when you start your container. That's the difference. Okay. Now I'm going to give some message in the CMD saying that some echo message. Let's say so echo and then comma hello. Let's say this is how you mention echo commands. Okay. So just like so you see when you go with our Tomcat image. So go with hub.docker.com. So I've shown you an Tomcat image for the history, right? So when you go to the image on the Docker, I've shown you that CMD command, right? CMD command. For that CMD, it is saying that to run some commands with a container. What was that command? Catalina.sh, and then so let me show you. Was cat be 4.4 Tomcat search for Tomcat. So there you see that CMD is told down. C where CMD there is CMD. Okay. So you can say these kind of CMD commands. So it's in the sorry, I mentioned single. Double quotation also single value I guess. So then what is that CMD? The CMD command so will be used when you run your container, I mean when you run an image, and by default you want to run something, right? So that is what is, or you can say it's a default one you want to run, default command you want to run when you start your container, I mean when you run your image. But the run will be executed whenever we build an image. That's the difference. Okay. Well, so let's say hello from hello. Let's give some message here. This message will be displayed. Hello container started. This message will be displayed to the user when image has been run. Okay. So let's see. Now go with it, save it, and then so build your Docker image. What is the command to build it? So Docker build, and then so -t, and the image you want to build. I'm going to give an image called, let's say, git image, and then so tag to this tag is 1.0. and a Docker file path in my current working directory, enter. Now, app does not have stable CLI interface, use the caution in steps, that's okay. Okay, so what exactly happened? Return a non-zero code, that means it was some error in here. What is that? So app install git. So warning does not have a stable CLI interface. Use the caution in steps. Reading packages. Okay, so the packages was 4 packages can be updated. Okay. So what I have done was, so I was the error. You see the error? Error was package not found. So that is git package not found. And moreover, whenever you try to install your packages, upgrade your packages, I mean, so I haven't mentioned the confirmation that I want to go with, so upgrade my images, I mean, upgrade my app install. So always use Y option. That is why there was an error. Okay. So save it. Then, so let's build the same image again. Okay, same thing. Let's see. App update -y, it's updating packages. Okay, fine. App get installed. Okay, it's installing packages as well. Yes, the package is also being installed. So that means as soon as I run my image, the image will have git installed. Now you want to install Apache install, you can also have Apache install. So successfully run. Now, so you see that how many layers we have? We have 4 layers. So why we have 4 layers? Since we have 4 commands in it. Okay, that's why we have 4 layers. Okay, then, so where is my Docker image? Docker images. Okay, in Docker images, our image name was git, and this was the previous one. So since I was building an image, building has an error. That's why image has not been created successfully. If you see any image names with none, images were created with errors. So better we remove those errors, error message, error images. So Docker RM and then image. Okay. Sorry, RMI, right? So it's not, it's an image, it's not a container. RMI. Okay. So it says must be post. Okay. Just post to remove that hyphen here. Okay. So all done. Now look at the images now, Docker images. Then that's our image. Now let's try to run that image. So I want to show you. So what happens if I run that image? Docker run, and then so git image, okay, with tag. Okay, run that. So there you see that hello container created. Yeah. So what is this message then? This message is given to the user when the image is run, or else. So I want to run some default commands whenever I start my container. Are we clear? So in those cases, so we run these CMD commands. Right. So hope that was clear. And then going with now. So let's say, where is my image? So Docker images, that's our image, right? I want to push this to the registry. Let's do it. But if I want to push to the registry, so I want to create an repository first. Okay, so I want to create a repository. So I don't want to push it to the existing repositories because the existing repositories has some other images. I want to push my another image to this repository. Okay, so that's why I'm creating a new repository. Now never push 2 different images to the same repositories, because so we are not sure, that means users are not sure when whatever repository when they push it, what image will be pushed. I mean pulled, I mean, I'm sorry. When the users are pulling the repository, so they are not sure what image will be pulled. They might be pull other one or this one. So that's why don't do that. and I'm giving my name to the repository. Let's say test repo 62. That's our repository. Okay. And then back to the continue Docker. Now, so what's next? Docker login. So Docker login is not required every time. So it is authenticating your request from existing credentials. We have some existing credentials. From there, credentials being authenticated. Well, now going with now. So Docker tag. So I'm going to tag my image. What is the image I have created? So git image. That's image name, and the tag. That was the tag. So provide the right tag 1.0, and then your repository. So what was the repository name? That's my repository name, right? So go with the repository name. Better you type that. So slash test hyphen repo 61. Okay. Server 62. Did I get 62? That's okay. 62 and a tag. Now the image has been tagged, Docker images. So there is my image, and both images have same IDs. So this is nothing but, so my image has been tagged successfully. Now we push it, Docker push, and then so your repository. Okay. So what was that? Test repo 62, and then 6.1.0. Push it. Okay. So what was that? A push request to a repository, and image does not exist locally. Tag. Did I not tag it? I did tag it. Docker push.
Spelling mistake.
So image does not exist means there is no repository. That means there's some typing error. Anyway. Push. So it is being pushed. And see, whenever I was building or I'm pushing, right? So you have a concept called layers concept, right? So what is the concept of layers? We'll talk about now. So now it is taking some time to push your images. And also when I was creating my image, whenever I was building my image, so it was taking a lot of time to build the image. But usually is it the case always takes the image a lot of time to build it? So it takes time, but only for the first time, not from second time onwards. Okay, let me show you that example. Well, now refresh. So it's loading. Now, so there you can see you have tags. Okay, that's your tag one. Okay. So that's my tag one. Well, now we can push it, we can pull it, I mean. So go with pull it. So Docker pull. So that's my image, right? So we can just pull it. So what is the message is? So the message is image is up to date. Of course, we already have that image, right? So since we already have that image, then why do you want to pull it again? So that's why it's up to date. Now we can run that image. So Docker run, and then the image name. Okay, so just with the tag. Again, the same issue. 1 second. So test repo 62. Okay. Test repo 62. Let's run 61. Now run it. Now again you see that I have a message. So container started set. Yeah. So now you want to run that container in interactive mode. We can run the container in interactive mode. Okay. And then, so we have installed Git, right? Let's check the Git version. It is installed. I have not installed it. So your Docker image has installed it. I have not installed it. So now it is ready to go. So just like in AWS, so we have the concepts called AWS Beanstalk, the same concept now. So whenever I pull the image, then I have my Git installed. Simple. Okay. Then, so going with now. So take the same image. So what is the image name? My image name is, so Git image is my image name. Okay. So this image, I want to do small change. What are the changes I want to do? I have some files, so which I want to copy from my host to the image, which I'm going to create. Okay. So how do I do that? I want to copy some files. Okay. So how do I do that? Let's look into that example. So what is the concept is? The concept is I have some files which I want to copy from my host to the Docker image which I'm going to create. But so I don't want to modify, I don't want to create a new image for this. I want to modify my existing image. Okay, so I want to modify my existing image, and that existing image, so we'll have our files copied from the host. Okay, so let's see how do we do that. Well, so going with now, so modify the Docker file, but before we modify, I want to copy some files, right? Since I want to copy some files, then what I do, I go with make some files over here. So touch, and then something like, let's say, so container file something, container file 1. So this file I want to copy to the container or image which I'm going to create. Right. So how do I do that? Now first create that file. Let's copy this file. Now, so open your Docker file, and this is a file which I'm copying. What is the file I'm copying? That's a file. Then so write a command over here. What is that command is? The command is copy, okay, and the file name. So what was the file name? So that's the file name, and where I want to copy, I want to copy that to somewhere in root, let's say somewhere into root directory. So copy that file. Now, so this container or this image, what I'm going to create or what I'm going to build, will have file copied from the host to the image. Okay, clear? Well, so what I will be doing now, I'm going to so build the image, copying the files to the Docker image which I'm going to create. Well, but this is a new command I have added to the container, right? I have added my Docker file. It's a new command. So how do I do that? Okay, or what is going to happen now? So now let's try this. I'm going to build it. So let's see what will be the result. Docker build. Then am I going to new image? Am I going to build a new image? This is not a new image, but this is nothing but our existing image. Okay, existing image. So what is existing image then? the previous image, for the same image, I'm creating a new version, a new tag, you can say. That means I'm modifying my existing one. Okay, I'm modifying my existing one. So how I'm going to modify that? So that's why. So whenever you modify, whenever you build a new image, give the same name to the image. If you give another name, it will be considered as a new name. So that's why I'm not going with a new name, rather I'm going with my existing image, but with a tag. The tag is 2.0. Well, with an option is -t because we are tagging. Okay, right. So, and then your Docker file path at the end, the Docker file path, same. Now you see how quickly image was built. So why the image was built so fast? So what is the reason? The image was built so fast. So because, so the other what we call the other layers. So these are the previous layers. These layers were already built, right? So these layers, since these layers were already built, so we have, I mean, Docker has not rebuilt the images, not rebuilt the layers. So instead, it has created, so or it has added a new layer to this. That is our layer file. Okay, that's our layer file. Okay, so this is the concept of layers. If you add, let me open my Docker file again. So look at the Docker file. So how many commands we have? So we have 5. So that's why your number of layers are 5. Okay, so to the existing 4 layers, so these are the existing 4 layers, I have added my new layer. So the existing layers have been loaded from the cache. You see that images, these layers are loaded from the cache. So they were already built. Since they were already built, they're loaded from the cache. Okay, right. So now we have added new layer. Now, hope the layers concept was clear. So whenever you add some new syntaxes to the existing image, the existing Docker file, now it is going to add the new layer based upon the commands we added. Okay, right. So look at my Docker images. So it has a new version, new tag then. Okay, so the existing one is always there. We have a new one. Then, so what I do, I'm going with Docker push. Okay, so Docker push, but before we push it, we tag it, right? That's important. Okay, now going with, now let me create an image, main repository. Now in this example, am I going to create a new repository, or will I be uploading my image to the same repository? I'm going to upload this same repository. So why I'm going to upload to the same repository? See, here the image or your repository, go to the repository again, sorry, that's my repository, right? So whenever I go to the repository has already an image. That means with image with the tag. What was the tag is 1.0. Okay, then so since I have modified my existing image, I'm going to upload to the same repository with a new tag. See, this is not a new image, right? It's an existing image, but a different tag. That's a concept. Okay, so let's upload to the same repository. Going with, so Docker tag. Okay. your repository and then slash test repo 62 equals repository 62, but the tag is different. The new tag. Okay, tag it. Okay. Again, say the syntax error. First, we mentioned host image name, right? Mention the host image with your version 2.0, and then your container. I mean your, I'm sorry, not container. So that's your repository, and then Docker push. As usual, we'll push the repository. One, and then so test repo 62, and then the tag 2.0. Now push it. Push also will be faster. Okay, you see that layers already exist. Now, so this has been pushed successfully. So now going with now, check my Docker. Okay, and this is your Docker registry. Refresh. So it is loading. So there you see that we have a new version, which is 2.0 version. Okay, so why this 2.0 version then? Back to that. So I have pushed my image. So this is our image. Okay, I pushed that image to the same repository with a newer version. So that's because of that reason. Okay, so that was clear. And then let me give you an example. So what are you going to do? You just do one thing. You download a sample bar file, download that. So that's your sample bar file, download it. You can just copy link address, wget, and the URL. So sample bar is downloaded. Now what I want to do, I want to have this sample bar file application should be containerized. So we talk about, so far we are seeing containerizing, I mean, how to create the new images. We call them using Docker files, we call them containerizing applications, containerizing concept. But here I want to containerize an application. What do you mean by containerize an application? So since I have a sample var file, this sample var file, I want to run it through Tomcat. Okay, I want to run through the Tomcat. Okay, so how I'm going to run through the Tomcat? How I'm going to upload that to the Tomcat. So we have a Tomcat image. I'm going to use the Tomcat image. Okay, how I'm going to use the Tomcat image then? How I'm going to write a Docker file for this. First of all, let's see how do I write a Docker file for this. So name of the file has to be Docker file, but we already have a file with the same name. So move the Docker file to the Docker file. Let's say so. Okay, now creating a new Docker file. Then so the purpose of the Docker file is from And then, so what is the base image? Now my base image will be Tomcat. So why I'm using the base image? So this Tomcat will be having my application running. Okay, so we'll have my application running. What application? The sample application. So let's try this. Where is the Tomcat? Tomcat. Say that's Tomcat. That's Tomcat. Okay. And then just go with Tomcat image. That's our Tomcat image. Okay. And then, so try that now. And where is it? Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Now, so Tomcat version. Okay, fine. Okay, it's fine. So, there it is. Okay. So what is that? User local Tomcat. That is Tomcat's home directory. Okay, it's Tomcat home directory. And with the Tomcat home directory, I'm going to copy my sample war file. Okay, so go back, copy, and then the sample war file, which I'm going to copy and to the user local, then Tomcat. There you can see user local Tomcat. Okay. As soon as I copy that file, I'm going to run a cmd command, and there you go with. So this. So what is that? See, by default, when you run your Tomcat, the Tomcat status will be stop state. I want to start it. How we can start that? So what is the service name? Service name is catalina.sh. That's your Tomcat service name. Okay, this is a script actually. So catalina.sh. Okay, so that's why we you remember when I was setting up the Tomcat home path was Catalina underscore home. Okay, Catalina underscore home. So this is not copied. The Catalina is the service of Tomcat. So here I take the script, copy the script name, and then go with, let's say, sh. So insert, what was that? So run. So I'm running catalina.sh. Okay, yeah. So from Tomcat, and then copy sample war file, insert local Tomcat, and then cmd is catalina.sh. Okay, so then you can go with maintainer. So yesterday I have just mentioned that. So what was that? Maintainer, I'm sorry. Maintainer. Okay, so email ID, right? You can mention some email ID. So you have some email ID, it's the email something, email user, whatever, just go with some email. Okay, and then so create this, build a Docker file for this. So Docker build, and then -t your Docker file, and then sorry -t. So let's say Tomcat image, then give some tag, Docker 0, and then hyphen, so dot, building an image. It's building the Tomcat. So all built. Okay. Now, so your sample var file also being copied to Tomcat. Okay. So what's next? The next is you just create your image now. So I'm trying to containerize my application. Hope the concept is clear. I'm trying to containerize my application. Okay. So let's create a repository and upload to the repository. So don't upload to the same existing repositories. The reason is it would be confusing for the users when they pull it. Okay, so that's why. Let's say so test repo 63. Okay, and then create. And now go ahead. So Docker and then first images. Okay, what is my image? We tag that. Okay, so Docker tag, then tag your Tomcat image, Tomcat icon image with the version, and then so test repo 63, and then give some tag to that as well. Okay, and then Docker images. Okay, that's your Docker image, and then so push it, Docker push, and then so what was that? Test icon repo 63. Okay, and then tag pushing now, so it is being pushed. So now it's taking time. Oh, request denied, access resource denied. What was that? Access denied. Why that access was denied? So is it like Docker login or something? Yeah, Docker login succeeded. Okay, might be because of that.
You are not specified a username. I think a KF something.
Oh, the name was incorrect. I'm sorry. Yeah, correct. You're correct. So just, I'm just thinking more on that policy here. Thank you. Right. So image locally. What is push refers to the image does not exist locally. Is it? Why? Docker images. Image does not exist. See, that was a wrong one. Okay. So it has to start with the username, right? So image name was incorrect. So let me remove that. Okay. So Docker remove image. Remove the image, then again I'm going to tag it. So just remove that. So let's tag it again. So Docker tag my repository. So username and then repository name. Always. Okay. And then come on. This is first local image name, right? Post image name, Docker image. And then you tag it with your repository. This has been tagged. And then so try that Docker images. And then so Docker push. And then slash test repo 63. push it. Now this is being pushed, so it might take some time. Okay, so this is successfully done. Okay, image is ready. So we have pushed it as well, and now whoever wants to pull it, they can pull it. So if they pull it, image will be ready. Now once image is ready, so what do we do next? Users who are pulling the images, they must run this command. What is that command is? Docker run and then your repository name. Okay, that's a name with the tag. Okay, fine. So, but I want to map that to a port number of the host. So what is the host port number I want to map it to? Host port number I want to map it to 8080, and the default port number of Tomcat is 8080. So then you just map it, and so once you map it, the result has to be okay. So enter. Hello, container started. Right. So what is the status of it? Docker PS. Okay, I think this is not so started. It's not started. 1 second. Go with again. Docker run. And let's go with some one. Okay, as a demo, let's try that. And now go with Docker PS. Still not started. Why this is not starting?
Sir,
Yeah.
actually you tagged Git image, sir, not Tomcat image.
Right. Okay. So, lot of mistakes. Yeah. Okay. I've tagged the wrong one. Is it? Okay. Okay. So then what I do, probably I will try to map it here itself. Okay. So I'll take my local image. That will do for us. I think so. So rather than taking a remote image, I'm taking my local image. Okay. That might be working for us. So Tomcat. Okay. And then okay. So the tag have yeah, you are correct. I have tagged the wrong one. So that's the reason it's not running. So again, did I do any mistake in the command? So this Docker run, isn't it? There's Docker run was missing. So Docker run. Okay. So Docker run. So did I do for wrong image? Yes. Okay. That's okay. Not a problem. We can take the local image. That also works for us. Okay. -P and then unable to find image. Is it? Come on. So I'm doing some silly mistakes. Yes, correct. Docker images. Okay. So correct. It's an Docker images. Just lack of sleep. So not proper sleep. That's because of that. Okay. So again, run it. Tomcat as an image. Okay. So yeah, I think that will do for us. So it's starting your Tomcat. Okay. So let it be started. We'll see. Let it be started. So it's taking some time, might be. 1 second. I would like to go with log into my. Oh, can you just go with the duplicate session, right? Instead of create a duplicate session. What is that? So Docker PS. So that's the one. Okay. So I want to log into that in execute mode. Let's execute into the container. Docker execute. Okay. And then the container and in interactive mode, of course. Okay. So we are in the container and then user and then local Tomcat and then web apps. Oh, sorry, we have not mentioned the current path. See, we have mentioned sample war file, right? We are supposed to mention web apps in it. See, again, a silly mistakes we are doing. Okay, let me do it manually. Well, so you can do it through the okay. And so web apps, which are supposed to copy to the web apps, isn't it? Okay. Hope that was clear what I was saying. Okay. So now we are in web apps. There you have sample war file. It has been extracted. Okay. So then you see that your web application was extracting. So it was extracting, has finished. Extraction was finished. Okay. But so I need to change my Docker file. We'll be doing it. That's not a big deal. Okay. And then so in bin, so you have what was that? So startup.sh, okay, /startup.sh, okay, run that. Now Tomcat is started, okay. So now I just go with my, so we'll take some time to start this, okay. The Tomcat is successfully started now. So it might take some time to do it. That we have message. Getting on time, it's okay. This is not starting yet. So how about the port numbers and those things? 1 second. I think we have all the port numbers. Just go with securities. We should have done these things through the Docker image itself. Okay. The port numbers are perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. Got it. So you have application running. See that? So what I have done? I just started my application, right? So now, for example, let me give you the clear whole Docker file. How to write the Docker file again? So I'm just going with that. So okay, hope the application is right. Even if you, for example, from your side, you take my Docker file, you just pull the Docker file and then pull it and then run it. You will have your application running successfully. You don't need to worry about anything. You don't need to copy them and anything. But let me modify my Docker file. Okay, I'm going to modify my Docker file. So, but even though, once again, so let's try that. I'm going to shut down my Tomcat. See, I'm shutting down. Then refresh my Tomcat page. Right? Okay, so that should be running. That's only one thing. So we start it. Dot slash startup dot sh. Let's represent it. Okay, so since we have shut down, we are out of the container. Sorry, we can't see that. So we have shut it down. Since we have shut it down, we are out of the container. Okay, good. So 1 second, let me back to the container. Okay, so Docker execute. But if you want to execute it, the container must be running. Okay, so Docker start, and then what was that? Image name. What was the image name? Tomcat. Then image with 1.0. I'm starting that. Okay, since I'm starting the container, but I want to start that in no such container. Sorry, we go with the image name, right? Let's go with the image. What? Sorry, container. That's my container. Starting a container. Just start the container, nothing else. If I start my container, I want to see whether will I be able to access my application is successfully running. You don't need to start that. Okay? You don't need to log into the executing into the container like execute that previously I have done it, right? So I was executing it. So once I execute it, what I have done next, so I'm in Tomcat, then I just moved into the bin. Once I'm in bin, so I started my Tomcat. So that is not required. But we have done this thing on our Tomcat on virtual instances, but here it is not required. But one thing is required, run that catalina.sh is required. Okay, so how did I do that? I've done it through the Docker. Now, so there was a small mistake we have done on my Docker image. So what was the mistake? Okay, I'll go to the images, right? So I just have copied the Docker file. I have copied that to my, so what is that? Sample var file, Tomcat, and then web apps. So that has to be a file. And then catalina.sh, then run it, save it. Then again, you want to rebuild the image, you can rebuild the image. So let's say Docker build Docker images first, and then I'm going to build it. So Docker build -t, okay, and Tomcat image. But I want to provide the same tag number like previous one, which is 1.0. Okay, the same tag. Well, then in this case, what will be happening? My existing image with the tag will be overwritten. So it has been overwritten. Why have overwritten that? My existing image 1.0 has some errors. That's the reason I have overwritten. Now you can start pushing it again. You just tag it. Okay. So Docker images, and so Docker tag, and then with our, so what was that? This is our Tomcat image, right? Okay. So tag with version 1.0, okay, and then your image slash test repo 63. I think we have done some mistakes over here, right? Okay, let me fix them. Okay, with same one. Now it has been tagged. Now this should be okay. Previously there were some errors. Now this is okay. There it is. And then go with Docker push, and that's a one with 1.0. I think this time, so I have successfully tagged my correct image. Now we can push it. And now what do you do on your side? You just go to your my image. This is the image. When you pull and then run the image, so you have your application running successfully. Yeah. So then you take the, or else you can even try that. Okay, take this IP address, take that IP address, and enter from your browser, the application will be running successfully. Okay. Simply what I have done, I want my application has to be containerized. My application is containerized, and the users, those who want to run my application, simply they use the command called docker pull and then docker run. Application will be up and running. So they don't need to worry about anything. No configurations, nothing has to be done. And this is how you containerize applications. Right. So now remember all the steps and remember some examples as well for this. You can expect a question on this. Okay. Can you give me some steps how to containerize applications or how do we write these Docker files for this? So this is that. Then you pull it and then run that image, and you know how to run the images, right? Using Docker run. Okay. So even I can do it. Let's say Docker pull and then my image, then slash test repo 63 with 1.0. But it's already there. So since it's already there, now I go with Docker run. It's the same command. So same, only one thing changed, Docker run. Okay. And then, but port number mapping, map to 8081, and then the default is 8080. So it will be up and running. It's starting first, and then when you see your application is being so extracting, you can see that, but it might take some time. Here you can see that. Here you can see here. Application archive sample WAR file. Okay. So has finished. So deploy WAR file deployment. Then you can enter, we can try that with the port number 8081. That's it. So how simplified it is, right? Same thing with a different port. Okay. 8081. Same. Okay. So this is the beauty of your containers, of application containers. Okay. Now terminate them. Finally, let me show you the concept of. So we have some containers, right? So I'm going to stop the containers. So for example, take this container. Okay, this is a container. Now, so if I run this container, or if I stop that, okay, let me stop it and then we can do it. So I stop it, docker stop, and then the container. So why I'm stopping my container? I'm stopping my container just because of I want to remove the container. So I'm removing my container, docker rm. Okay, remove the container. So we know that how to remove the containers, but before I remove my container, I want to take a backup of my container. Okay, I want to take a backup of my container. How do I take my backup of the container? Once you take a backup, then you can remove the container. Yeah. So what is the command? What is the command? Sorry, forgot the command. Container backup. There is a simple command called container backup. That was save, I guess. Yeah, that was save. Docker save. Yeah, got that one. Yeah, that was save. Yeah, but so you commit it and then save it. But you can only commit it. You don't need to save it. Okay? So just commit it. So save is different. Provide that. So simple and just on two commands. So Docker and then commit. So and then I so commit means we are taking a backup. By taking a backup, the container This is the container which I'm going to delete. Other container, I'm going to create an image. Okay, so I'm creating an image so that even if my container is deleted, I can still have my image, right? So I'm going to make it container. Let's say so. Give backup. Let's say backup container. Give back if you want. So what point? See that. Is one not organized. Once again, I think the command syntax again. I've used that tools. Now enter. Now let me show you in images. Okay, see that I have an image created. That's finished. Now I can remove the container. Right? So I go with between the container. That's my container. Right? So let's remove that. Docker rm and then your container. There is deleted. So you can see that Docker ps. There is no here. The container is deleted. Now, so what do you do? You can push that image to the registry. Okay, you can do that. Since I have the image, right? So go with the Docker images. So this is my image. You can tag with some repository. You can push it. Okay, I would say so. Docker tag, and then so what is my backup? Right, backup container. So 1.0, and then which repository? Take some random repository. Okay, you can take any repository. Right? But tag is, I would say, this is, let's say, backup. That's my tag. Now that is being tagged. Now you can push it as usual. Okay. So Docker images, then you can push it. So that is your, so there is a backup tag. That's a backup tag. Now you can push it. So that means, so even if the image is deleted, you have a backup of that container on the registry. So previously, so what I have done, first I have created an image for the container using Docker commit command. And later I have used tag concept. I have tagged that image to the repository. Then I can push that to the repository. Okay. So that's the best thing. Then even if you remove the image, then you will have the backup maintained on the registry. So you want to do that. Let's say Docker push, and then so with backup tag. Now again, so relax. Even I can remove my image, right? I can remove my image. So anyway, by the way, so this image backup will be available on the registry. Refresh the backup tag. Okay, it's loading. Let it. Then, so we have right the save command. What is save? It is going to create a zip images. That is your backup tag. Now, whenever you want to pull that, you can pull that backup. Okay. So, another command which is save command. Okay. So, save does save your, is that save, make sure it's save command. Good. Save. Okay. Save is going to create an tab file for your image. Okay. You can create tab files, whatever files you want to create, you can create. Okay. So So where is that? Docker images. Right. I'm going with Docker save -o. Okay, and then file name, zip file name. You want to create a tar file name. Let's say Tomcat image dot tar or zip, whatever you want to give. Okay, file name, and which one, which image. So that's our image. It's creating a tar file, and once you create a tar file, so that is you can remove your Tomcat image. Okay. Well, so these are the 2 steps how to take your backups of the containers and the images. So save is nothing but so saving your images into different types of files, and so that all these files you can maintain. And over, let's see, then we have Tomcat image.tomcat. This tar file, that's your backup file again, right? It's your backup file. Right. So then you use, that's it. Okay, thank you. Okay. So is it okay? Now you can expect a question here. How the question can be expected over here. The first, how to take an backup of the container? That's the first question. And the second question would be how we can create an image with a container. Okay, that's the second question. How we can take an image through a container using Docker save. The concept is same. So why do you take an image from the container? Either could be backup purpose, or else, so let's say I have done some configurations on my image. Like previously I have shown you. So once I log into my image, I have copied sample var file to the different other file. So I have some kind of configurations. And after that, you want to take after we're doing configurations, you want to take a backup of that image, you can take a backup. And you want to create an image from the container again. So that the container again you can push it, other users can pull that. Yeah. So these are the 2 reasons. The first reason is backup. Other reason is how we can create containers, how we can create images from the containers. These are the 2 reasons. Okay. Yeah. Now try all these examples from your side. Try to take an sample var file and then containers the application. That's what we do. And later, so also we have seen the versions concept. How to create different versions for the images, right? We have seen different images, versioning concept, and how to build that image. So the concepts, whatever we discussed yesterday in today's sessions, are really, really important. Okay. Right. So thank you. Any questions?
సార్ యాక్చువల్గా మనము ఇప్పుడు టామ్ క్యాట్ ఇమేజ్ ని రన్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఇంటరాక్టివ్ మోడ్ లో రన్ చేసాం సార్.
No, I haven't. I just
చేయలేదు.
Interactive mode is not required.
Okay.
Second time we have shown you. I simply have run that image. Right? See that it's still running. You see that? There is interactive mode. I have stopped it right now, but I haven't run this in interactive mode. Sorry. But if not, then you can do it. Okay? But that's not required to run it. Interactive mode is only to show you the purpose.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any more questions?
సార్ డాకర్ ఇమేజెస్ లో పోస్ట్ ఇమేజ్ ఒకటి, రిపాజిటరీ ఇమేజ్ రెండు ఉంటున్నాయి కదా, రెండు అవసరమా? డాకర్ ఇమేజెస్ లో అదే హోస్ట్ లో ఉన్న ఇమేజ్ ఒకటి, రిపాజిటరీ ఉన్న ఇమేజ్, సేమ్ ఇమేజ్ 2 times ఉంటుంది కదా.
See, host image is, that's your application. Okay, we're talking about images. Yes, okay, we have 2 images, host images and then repository, correct? Yeah.
రెండు కంపల్సరీ అంటే ఒకటి డిలీట్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుంది? సేమ్ ఇమేజ్ కదా.
So you want to push your images, right? If you want to push your images, First of all, image, you create the image. Where do you create the image? On the post first. Once you create the
Yes.
image on the post, then you push it. So just like your GitHub concept, right? So how are you going to push the changes? You do the changes to the local repository, then you push it. Clear?
Okay.
Hi, Krishna. Bless you.
Yeah.
Krishna, do we have Azure sessions going on or
Coming weekend.
coming weekend, not this weekend? Okay, all right, sir. So I didn't get any update on Azure, so thought of asking about Azure sessions. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Krishna, thank you.
Okay. I think I have given update. I think so. I have been already given update. Probably you might have missed it, but so it's coming from coming weekend.
Oh, okay, Krishna, no worries. Thank you.
So okay, thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time.